So first of all, bagi pihak AKAP and UMK, I would like to thank all the speakers to make yourself available today. So untuk semua partisipan, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and good afternoon. And to our honorable speakers, today we have yang berbahagia Profesor Dato TS Dr. Noor Azizi Ismail, Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Kelantan. Dan kita ada juga yang berbahagia Profesor Dato IR Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Shukor, Vice Chancellor Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, dan yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Faisal Rafiq Muhammad Adikan, Vice Chancellor of University Science Malaysia. And of course, I would like to also greet our UniLeeb participants, UMK staff, as well as all the publics, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, our session today will feature 3 distinguished leaders who were entrusted to lead the university at considerably young age. All of them will hold the highest position of the university when they are not even 5 series, and in fact, ada yang as young as early 40s. Prof. Rafiq, I presume. So let me introduce a little bit the 3 of our speakers today. We have Professor Dato TS Dr. Noor Azizi Ismail, who is currently 5th Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Kelantan and joined University Malaysia Kelantan since January 2019. And he received his full professorship in 2009 from UUM and was held many leadership positions, namely Deputy Director General of HEI, Ministry of Education in 2017, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Innovation of UUM in 2015, and Founder Dean for College of Business UUM in 2009. So, of course, in terms of academic standing, all of them is very greatly achieved that level. And we have second speaker is Professor Dato IR Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Shukor, currently 12 Vice Chancellors, Vice Chancellor yang ke-12 Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, also appointed as a Vice Chancellor in January 2019. He was formerly a Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics and Internationalization of University Malaya in 2011 until 2013, if I'm not mistaken, from the Googles that I have got, and was the Dean of Faculty of Engineering in 2009. And of course, many other research leading as well as other association that he leads. And the third speaker is Professor Dr. Faisal Rafiq Mahamad Adikan, the 8th Vice Chancellor of University Science Malaysia, joined University Science Malaysia in October 2019. He was previously a Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development in Malaya, and Professor Rafiq was appointed as Executive Director of UM Holdings Sdn Bhd, which is UM Business Arm, and he received his full professorship in 2013, and he has been getting a lot of awards from his research work, especially Best Engineering Research during presentation at House of Commons, British Parliament in 2006. So I could say that all the 3 leaders today, not only excellence in management, but have great academic standing and scholar in their own field. So before we start, I would like just to introduce a little bit about the program today. Actually, our session today entitled To Be or Not to Be, Leaders of the Future is a program under ACAP and hosted by University Malaysia Kelantan under the program called University Leader Entrepreneurial Educators Bootcamp 2019. And this is the second module under the theme of change leadership. So as we all know, To Be or Not to Be is by William Shakespeare in Hamlet. So it is about, should we live or should we die, or should we sleep and dream, or should we wish for achievement? So these are the most famous soliloquy of in the literature. So today we would like to hear from our top leader, young and vibrant, who will carry also their leadership attributes for the future endeavor. So how will they keep pace with the changing environment and lead higher learning institution to a greater level? So the panel will be given 30 minutes each to share their thought, and later I will open for question and answers from the audience. And I wish all the audience has prepared with pen and papers to jot down all the important points and ready your question. So, okay, without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Dato TS Dr. Noor Azizi as our host university from Tuan Rumah lah ya, Prof. Dato, to share his attributes, experience and future endeavour as VC of UMK, especially and HEIs generally. So, Prof, welcome. The floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pertama sekali terima kasih kepada Prof Maheran dan juga kepada dua sahabat saya, Prof Dato Hamdi dan Prof Faisal daripada USM dan UKM. Dan since saya alumni UKM, so saya nak ucapkan tahniah kepada Prof Dato Hamdi atas ulang tahun ke-50 UKM. Dan yang kedua, saya tidak lagi muda sebenarnya. This is my second year di UK. Saya dah masuk kategori 5 siri. Jadi yang muda sebenarnya ialah Prof Dato Hamdi dan Prof Faisal Rafiq. Saya rasa, tapi tak apalah. Prof Maheran nak juga saya jadi panel, jadi saya kongsikan sedikit. Dari segi tajuk to be or not to be, saya berpandangan pangkat ataupun jawatan ini bukanlah satu perkara yang saya rasa saya percaya ramai lagi yang inginkan sangat, yang kita dambakan. Tapi kalau kita diberikan tanggungjawab dan amanah, maka kita perlu tunaikan sebaik mungkin lah. Dan hari ini saya ada buat sedikit mind mapping lah. Ada 3 perkara sebenarnya yang saya mungkin boleh kongsikan for those aspiring leaders out there lah. So my sharing is targeting to the young leaders lah. Yang pertama ialah knowledge and skill. Itu yang pertama. Saya ingat lagi dalam beberapa minggu lepas Tan Sri Gulf Jasmine pun ada menyebut perkara ini. Dan juga pada tahun 2016 saya ada berpeluang berbincang dengan Presiden MUS pada masa itu, Profesor Tan Cho Chuan, 2016. So adalah apa yang saya tanya. Jadi perkara pertama yang dinyatakan ialah sebelum kita berfikir nak jadi TNC ke VC ke dekan, first we need to be competent academic. Bermaksud dari sudut teaching, research, publication, consultation dan sebagainya itu kita mesti telah orang kata mencapai satu tahap yang tertentu. We have been recognized as being a good teacher, good researcher dan sebagainya. Ini sangat penting kerana sekiranya kita dilantik memegang jawatan, that will ensure that you are not being belittled by your subordinates, for example. It has to be, you must reach certain level when it comes to teaching, research, publication, etc. Itu yang pertama. Dan yang kedua ialah pecahan daripada knowledge and skill tadi. Walaupun kita seorang ahli akademik yang bagus, yang excellent, but if you want to become a leader, we need to develop soft skills. Kalau kita baca dalam buku Jim Collins, Good to Great, the first one yang saya sebut jadi competent academic, it refers to the highly capable individual. And the second one, saya cuba relate kepada development of the soft skills. Sebelum kita jadi leader, we need to be a contributing team member. We must be a good follower. Kan kita harus menjadi ahli pasukan yang menyumbang kepada pasukan. And throughout that journey, probably later on, seperti mana saya dalam kes saya memegang berbagai jawatan lah, daripada bermula sebagai mungkin program chair, jadi head of department, deputy deans dan sebagainya. The third level is what we call the competent manager. Kat sini kita dah mula menjadi orang kata manager ataupun leader lah. So dalam konteks ini, when you are appointed as a KJ, TD ataupun dean, of course you need to have or to develop kind of communication skills. You need to have a good communication skill, how to deal with people. You need to establish kind of networking, because dalam academic, we are actually the concept of collegial management. Kita tak ada full authority. So dalam konteks ini juga saya nak sentuh apa yang disebut dalam satu buku juga dipanggil Bill George dalam buku apa ni Allah tak ingat nama buku tu, tapi that book Discover Your True North. He talk about leadership from three angles. One is that from top to bottom. Second is from below, from bottom to the top. And then yang ketiga ialah from the side. Saya perasan benda ni, when I was dean for 7 years. Kadang-kadang kita nak melakukan sesuatu, especially if you are dean of graduate school, it involves your interaction with other deans from other faculties. So you need to have the kind of capability to lead from the side yang sama level, kan? Dan kadang-kadang kalau kita sebagai dekan also we lead from the below ataupun from bottom to influence the top management. Even sebagai VC pun we are also a follower ataupun in that sense, because kita perlu juga bertanggungjawab kepada ahli LPU, pengerusi dan sebagainya, dan juga kepada pihak kementerian. So by having all those skills, then we can reach the level 4 yang disebut oleh Jim Collins, itu dipanggil effective leader, whereby effective leader can build high performance team. So dalam nak mencapai tahap keempat tadi, dia melalui satu proses yang panjang jugalah. Okay. Saya jadi pensyarah, if I want to share my personal experience, saya jadi pensyarah tahun 1995. 98, 3 tahun kemudian saya confirm dapat pengesahan jawatan. Dulu we need 3 years to confirm. 99 saya dah jadi pegang jawatan pentadbiran yang pertama sebagai program chair. Dan pelbagai jawatan lain sehingga saya melanjutkan pelajaran buat PhD 2001, 2004 itu tak ada jawatan. Back from PhD saya terus jadi ketua jabatan, dan itu berterusan. Ketua jabatan, timbalan dekan, TNC, timbalan ketua pengarah dan sebagainya, sampailah ke hari ini. So that gave a kind of experience lah, sedikit yang mungkin saya boleh kongsikan. So saya dah cover yang pertama tadi, iaitu knowledge and skill yang pecah pada dua, competent academic, yang kedua ialah develop soft skills. So the second element that I would like to share is the mindset. Okay, you can be the best researcher or the best teacher dan sebagainya, but to become a leader you need to have a very strong mindset, I would say. Yang mana saya boleh pecahkan kepada beberapa kategori lah. Yang pertama, kita kena sentiasa positif lah. Itu yang pertama. Orang kata, you have to say yes to whatever possibilities, opportunities that come to us. And Also, we need to overcome lots of challenges, and therefore we need to stay calm and composed and give assurance to the people that follow us. Dan dalam konteks ini, we need to be resilient, we need to be bold at times. Okay, dan yang lain itu pasal we need to be, orang kata, bila ada masalah, challenges, at the same time we need to be able to foresee to search for opportunities. In a way, we need to be visionary, be more creative, innovative, and dare to be different lah. I think we learn a lot, semua orang during this lockdown. Malam saya ada webinar, we talk about leadership in lockdown, and there are lots of positive things that we can see. But that depends on how positive you are as a leader, to bring the followers, to cultivate creativeness, creativity, etc. So that's the second elements of mindset. The third one, ialah dari segi ethics and values. Ini sangat penting lah. But kalau kita di atas ni, saya rasa mungkin Prof Hamdi dengan Prof Faisal Rafiq boleh, you may agree with me or not. But when you are at this level, sometimes there are hidden pressures and sometimes invisible hands. Yang mana yang di bawah kita tak boleh faham, tak tahu. So but whatever it is, you have to hold that integrity should always be at the highest place. It has to be at number one, and we have to be accountable, we have to be responsible to whatever decisions that we make. So dalam konteks ini, saya kalau di UMK, I don't need absolute power. Itu yang saya beritahu. I will not make a sole decision. A decision must be made by, it has to be collective. It has to be made by the JPU, Jawatan Kuasa Pengurusan Universiti. Okay, sebab having this power, absolute power, is a bit scary to me. Okay, to be honest. And lagi satu ialah yang saya selalu amalkan ataupun since my UUM days, I have this what I call a small circle of genuine true friends. Kadang-kadang bila kita di atas, dia ada banyak blind spot actually. Okay, dan kadang-kadang kita selalu di atas kita mendongak, kita lupa nak melihat ke bawah. So that the reality is that when you are at certain level, ramai yang cuba, they like to tell you all the nice things. Sampai kadang-kadang kita mungkin terlupa. So that is why we need what I call this small circle of true friends. Saya ada sahabat-sahabat saya yang akan call saya, biasanya, jom kita tarik kopi roti canai. Lepas tu dia orang belasah saya lah. Contohnya kan, dia orang memerhatikan kita dari jauh, and they do not hesitate untuk berikan nasihat kepada kita, yang mana orang lain tidak mampu ataupun tidak berani berikan nasihat. So I think that's one thing. And lagi satu ialah we need to be authentic lah. Position, pangkat, you shouldn't change it. You know? Kalau suka makan kedai kopi kat tepi jalan tu, continue makan je kat tepi jalan tu. We need to be, kalau dalam Jim Collins, tadi saya dah sebut 4 level. The highest level, berdasarkan kajian yang dia buat, they call it the level 5 leadership. What differentiate great leaders with the good leader is humility, humbleness, humanity and sincerity. Dalam konteks ini saya rasa, just be you. I mean, whatever position shouldn't change you. And our job, I think, as a leader is we need to be authentic. By being that authenticity will inspire and hopefully will influence the young ones, the aspiring leaders out there, and we need to build more leaders. And itu yang kedua lah, okay, knowledge and skill, mindset, dan ada pecahan tadi. Yang ketiga, saya fikir penting juga ialah visibility. Okay, we are living in a world whereby there are so many opportunistic people. Okay, if you are good, you are excellent, you have all the ideas, tapi kalau kita tak pernah bercakap in a meeting, we don't share our expertise, we don't network with people, we don't collaborate, nobody will know you. Okay, if people don't know us, they won't engage, they won't hire us. So dalam konteks ini, visibility itu penting. Bila saya cakap visibility, tak perlu kita nak oversell, nak membodek dan sebagainya. It's not. But whenever we have to speak, we have to stand up, just stand up and speak up. You know, and I think that I cover these three things that I would like to share: knowledge and skill, mindset, and visibility. And before I end, saya pun tak nak cakap panjang lah. Saya nak petik apa yang Dale Carnegie dalam buku dia. Saya ingat semua orang dah baca lah, tapi this is one thing that I think very important for me to share. Dalam buku dia yang ditulis pada tahun 1936, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Ini sangat penting sebab macam saya, Prof Hamdi, Prof Faisal, Rafiq, kita bukan asal daripada universiti tersebut. Saya bukan daripada UKM, daripada UMK, Prof Hamdi bukan daripada UKM, Rafiq bukan daripada USM. Sometimes, you know, it's not easy. When you are outsiders, you come to the university to lead people. And dalam konteks ini, saya bacakanlah apa yang ditulis oleh Dale Carnegie. Dia kata, when dealing with people, we are not dealing with creatures of logic. Maknanya kita bukan berhadapan dengan makhluk yang logik, dia kata. We are dealing with creatures of emotions. Creatures bristling with prejudice and motivated by pride and vanity. So it requires lots of patience lah, and understanding the human behavior and things like that. And at the same time, Dale Carnegie shares one secret to success. He said that one secret to success is the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. So dalam konteks ini saya rasa we need to listen more as a leader. We need to be patient. Dia akan ada sentiasa group yang will always resist on whatever things that you want to do. You know, so you need to have a good team, strong team behind you. And to create whatever the quick wins, etc. And hopefully we can lead people and put institutions before us lah. And the last thing that I would like to share sebelum saya end my sharing yang untuk bahagian ini ialah probably things to avoid to have an inner peace as a leader, because I have seen a lot during all those years. When I was at KPT as TKP, saya biasanya wakil kementerian untuk temu bual jawatan KNC biasanya. So beberapa benda yang saya rasa you need to avoid if you want to be a good leader, authentic one, is you should never gadai prinsip lah. Whatever pressures that come in, we need to put integrity at the highest place as number one, itu yang pertama. And yang kedua, saya rasa mungkin jangan bodek lah dan jangan bergantung kepada orang lain. Kalau nak pergi interview, tak payahlah bawa surat recommendation ke surat apa semua kan. If you are good, the reward, the offer will come to you without a need to do the lobbying or apple polishing, etc. Yang ketiga, ialah jangan sombong. Saya dah sebut tadi, bila di atas banyak blind spot, and even Abraham Lincoln, I would like to quote what he said, if you want to find out what a man is made of, give him absolute power and watch how he use it. So, dan yang terakhir sekali, yang saya selalu buat lah, we have to identify what's our weakness. Saya ni kurang sabar sikit. Kadang-kadang cepat melenting juga. So, kena banyak doa lah. Doa yang pertama ialah setiap kali solat, saya kena doa supaya diberikan kesabaran. I know that I'm not that patient. So I need that dalam mengharungi menjalankan tanggungjawab di UMK ni. And then dijauhkan daripada segala perkara tak elok lah. I think as a Muslim we need to believe that the God Allah will guide us, and with that I think kalau kita dapat avoid 3 perkara yang saya sebut tadi, dan kita tak akan ada masalah if one day we have to vacant our post. Jadi kita tak akan berlawan untuk mengekalkan posisi dan sebagainya. In my case, I'm always ready to leave, to vacant anytime, but without a need to sacrifice my principle dan sebagainya. So with that, saya harap sedikit perkongsian ini dalam 15-20 minit dapat memberi sedikit manfaat lah. Dan insyaAllah kalau ada soalan selepas sesi Prof Hamdi dan Prof Rafiq, insyaAllah kita boleh, saya boleh cuba jawab lah. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you, Dato. 1 year I know him, whatever he said is true enough. Very highly entrepreneurial mindset, very knowledgeable. Yes, nanti banyak soalan nak tanya ni, Dato. Whether you walk your talk. Okay, seterusnya I think there are many of us is waiting to listen to Dato Hamdi. Maybe I give you another 30 minutes to just share your experience, whatever you have related to your position and whatsoever. So Dato, please.
Thank you very much, Prof. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dan salam sejahtera to everyone. My name is Hamdi, and first and foremost, I feel very humble to be here, to be called to talk about leaders of the future. Definitely, I do not see myself as the gold standard. Person like me has got lots of things to learn, and actually listening to my colleagues speaking, I learned a lot already, and some of the points already being highlighted by Dr. Azizi, so I'll try my best to touch on something else which has not been spoken about. I actually do some small slides which I'm not quite sure whether I can actually share or not. Let me try. Can I actually share my slides?
Yeah, on the right side there is a present now icon. So you just click there, choose window.
Window.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Can you guys see this? Can you actually see this?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Dato, can see.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, great, because I can't see myself. Okay. Anyway, yeah, very brief introduction of myself, Hamdi. First degree from Imperial College London, and continued my master's in Manchester, and then economic downturn in 1997. I can't go anywhere. Luckily, I got the Mombusho, and I was accepted to Kyoto University to do my PhD. And yeah, okay. professional engineer by training, and also I spent a year in UCLA, California, Los Angeles, since 2015, 2016, after I completed my tenure as a DVC academic in University Malaya. Down here is basically my career path, joining University Malaya until the year 2018 and been appointed as a VC for UKM since 2019. So I've been in my position for 1.5 years roughly, yeah. I've been given some kind of guidelines to talk about, so I'll probably slowly go through it, yeah. As a leader, in my opinion, there are some personal attributes that probably help in the leadership. First and foremost, as mentioned by Dato Azizi just now, is principle-centered. This is probably the most important, single most important element or attributes of a leader. A lot of people have problem with this. We are sometimes ready to sacrifice our principles simply because we want some positions. So clinging to the principles that we believe in is probably the most difficult to do, especially in the context of Malaysia, our country. We have, we can easily slip through, when it comes to principle. If I may go quickly, focus on priorities. We, in the universities in UKM, for example, we have tons of priorities, things to do, basically. We have to list them up from 1 to number 100, and then really focus on the most important things to do, because time is really limited. We don't have that much time, and we have to do more than the time allocated for us. Therefore, maintaining priorities and focusing on priorities is extremely important. Number 3, as mentioned by Dato Azizi as well, maintaining calmness and cool-headed. We might be burning inside, the head is almost, wanting to explode, but maintaining calmness, I think, is very, very important. We face people who are sometimes unrealistic, people who don't even care about, about anything and wanting you to listen to them. So maintaining calm is really something which is very difficult to do, and cool-headed, so that we don't really burst into our anger, so hopefully we can all learn to be patient and cool-headed. Number 4, strategic move. A lot of things that we do has to be strategic, even though it's a very, very small thing. For example, parking our cars as VCs, for example, and how do we treat the people on the street? In UKM, for example, once we park our car, the security guard will stop all the cars and let you cross the road, for example. As a strategic move, avoiding this would be something which is very commendable, in my opinion, because you treat yourself just like the others. People want to cross the road, they have to wait, look for the cars to subside, then only you cross the road. So strategic move, in my opinion, is to ensure that whatever you do is calculated. You know that you are doing things because you know the consequence of your move. And finally, humility, again, has been touched lightly by Dato Azizi just now. This is very important. People are sensitive, and when the leader is humble, I think it touched the heart of many people. So having humility is not something that you actually try to do, which is not yourself, but it is coming from your inner self. And I think this has to be original. We cannot actually make up humility. It has to come from within. So those are some of the personal attributes. And I wish to say that perhaps the last one, not interested in position, it's kind of contradict with you being there as a Vice Chancellor. But to be honest, I personally am not that interested in position. I was asked to be in that position, and if given the choice, probably I will not want to be there. So I think this is probably a bit weird. a lot of people want to be in that particular position for whatever reason. So you not wanting a position, then you become a reluctant leader. So that can be a plus and a negative point as well. It depends very much on situation, but I'm just talking about myself. I think I'm not interested in position from the very beginning. I remember when Tan Sri Gao was wanting me to be his deputy many years ago. I was really trying my level best to avoid until I have no choice but to accept. And that probably helped me to position myself well when you do not want that position, but you have been kind of given that position or kind of forced to be in that position. We will do the work as the best we could, but interested in the position is a totally different scenario, in my opinion. What are the dilemmas? A lot of dilemma though. Changing existing culture, being in UKM, for example, there are lots of culture which has ingrained into the society here, into the university, and they have been doing that. They have been embracing such culture for, say, the past 50 years. And changing some of them is going to be a dilemma, because you know that it is like moving a mountain. And wanting to do that will require a lot of energy. So that's a dilemma number one. But being a leader, we determine what are the culture that we want to, we want people to absorb and embrace. So I think, again, quite a dilemma though in the first place. Secondly, which is quite challenging, is political influence versus academic freedom. A lot of time, the academics will write whatever they feel like writing based on their research or their thinking, and that sort of writing can possibly create political problems, to the VCs and also the management. So sometimes political influence can really create a lot of dilemma for leaders in the university, which you feel very uncomfortable. You want to uphold academic freedom. At the same time, you receive texts and messages saying that, why is this guy saying this and saying that? And you know that academic freedom should be upheld very dearly in an academic institution like UKM, for example. So those are some of the dilemmas which I wish to share with you. What sort of style of leadership? I embrace certain styles. First and foremost, empowering subordinates. We have PNCs or DVCs, we have deans and directors. I think we should empower people. They have been there to do some work that you entrust them to do, and empowering them, I think, is a very big word. Secondly, influence rather than forcing. It's very easy for a vice chancellor to just force people because you are there and people might listen to you, but forcing people might just be short life activity. They follow when you are there, but influencing people until they believe in some activities or some action that you want them to do, that can possibly last longer. So leadership, by definition, is the ability to influence followers to achieve certain objectives. So I think this is what leadership is all about, influencing. Thirdly is my style, hopefully, I believe I am doing that, trying to be inclusive as much as possible, bring people into the fold, let them be part of the decision-making process. Even though you know what you want, you let them speak as if they are the one who actually want it. And give credits to them, even though it might come from you, for example. Leaders give credit, leaders do not claim credit. Number 4, being friendly. Part of being humble is actually being friendly. And being friendly in this culture, the ASEAN culture, is very, very powerful. People like friendly people. They don't like people who are snobbish, who have high nose. Yeah? And being friendly means that you might not like protocols. I, for one, feel very uncomfortable with protocols. So hopefully we have less protocols. When we go to certain function, for example, they will always prepare for us, the VIP table. I will always tell them, if possible, do not prepare this. We like to eat with others, mingle with the rest, with those on the ground, rather than sitting together with VIPs, where we have seen them almost on a daily basis, for example. So non-protocol probably is my style. I'm not saying that everybody should follow this, but I'm just saying that my style. Next is being sincere. Again, has been touched by Dato Azizi. This is extremely important. Why are we being a leader? Why are we there in that position? It is not to strengthen ourselves, it's to strengthen the organization. Being sincere is probably the single most important element or style, if you want to say. But really is the inner heart of a person. Sincerely wanting to see the organizations be strong, sincerely wanting to see success achieved by colleagues and subordinates. And I think the sincerity that really drives the institution. And hopefully we love everybody, even though those who really against us and sometimes campaign others to go against us. As a leader, we should have and develop this love to people, even though to our so quote-unquote enemies. In organizations as big as USM, UMK, and UKM, for example, obviously there are a lot of people who might not like you. You come from some other universities, and you try to change things. You create enemy possibly along the way. People hate you maybe. There are hate and love together there, entangled. But I think loving everyone is important because they are your colleagues. They might not understand what you want to do. So deal with them. So we have some. I think. Okay. All right. Is it okay? Okay. Decision making. Again, some experience in making decisions. As a VC, we make decision every second, and people expect you to make decisions as a leader. In fact, the worst of decisions is no decision. The bad decision is better than the no decision. So decision making is really tough as a leader, and sometimes our decisions are not right. Sometimes they are very good, but quite sometimes we fail to make good decisions. I, for one, will choose big issues rather than small ones. And all these small things, I will try to get my subordinates that has been empowered to actually make decisions rather than everything centered towards the pinnacle. Basically, the Vice Chancellor is almost like a pinnacle. The Vice Chancellor has got so much of power to make decisions. And this can be quite dangerous. A lot of time people are expecting you to come up with a decision that you do not know the entirety of the issue. So fragmenting the issue into smaller ones and empowering people to make decisions probably is a good thing to do. And you choose only the big matters to and focus on the big ones so that you can really make good decisions. Secondly, we in this university, we have to face issues all the time, and this is firefighting. A lot of things is very systemic. A lot of issues are very, very systemic, and I would always choose system approach. Where exactly is the problem, rather than firefighting? We can't escape from firefighting all the time, but we need to ensure that the way we approach decision making is always looking at system, so that we can really look at the root cause of the problem, for example, and eliminate them or build up system to solve the problem, rather than cropping up the problem will crop up all the time because we are not solving the systemic issue, but we are actually just firefighting. So the fire will start coming out here and there, and we will be very, very tired in doing firefighting. As a leader, in making decisions, sometimes we are influenced by our personal judgment. Sometimes we are blinded by personal sentiments, and this is where a cool-headed leader is very much in need, where we have to look at facts and make decisions based on facts rather than personal judgment. And it requires a very, very strong personality of that leader to put aside personal grudges or personal dislike in making decisions. Number 4, when we make decisions, we are not just single-mindedly making decisions. There are lots of perspectives. And a single-minded person will not venture into different perspectives. It's like looking at something, for example, our handphone. There are multiple facets of a handphone. And this perspective is required before we actually make decisions, so that we can actually look at the entire thing, and then only we make decision based on the whole perspective, if possible. Lastly is to understand context. A lot of things happen due to context. In UKM, for example, the university is established after May 13, 1969, for example. In 1970, 18th of May, the UKM was established as a university. So the context of that establishment has to be understood well, because at that time, the racial tension is high, the economic situation is not good, hence the fighting for national identity and language and things like that are very, very fierce. And that context is where UKM was established. So understanding the context will make you realize that, you know, decision making at that particular point of time is actually related to the actual context. But when the context changes, culture should also change, and the way decisions are being made should also change as well, because contextually is already different. So this is where it's difficult, because people do not want to change, and leaders are supposed to decide on that. If I may, within these 5 minutes, advice to the young. I think we have quite a number of young people in this group. First and foremost, plug the loopholes. We want to be a leader. We want to be leaders in the future. A leader is supposed to show example, you know? And teaching and learning, for example, we have to ensure we teach well. The students like us, you know, they understand what we teach. Research and publication is always coupled together. Do research with publication, quality research and quality publication has to be there. Postgraduate, make sure we have PhDs and masters. Ensure we have the grants, international grants, local grants, not only university grants, international collaboration, for example. Maintain good international collaboration with renowned professors in the world. Make sure we have close relationship with industry and industrial people, or agencies, government agencies or NGOs, doesn't matter, depends on what your industry is. Yeah? And intellectual property rights, at least we have a few patents, or maybe, you know, copyrights or whatever, at least we have something. Awards, for example, we have a few awards. Yeah? We go into expo and win some gold medal or silver medal. So if we have these loopholes, and we already covered all those with you know, a bit of this and that, and we maintain quality in each one of them, when we become leaders, it is easy for us to convince people. Leaders that, you know, VCs that do not have publication, for example, will not fight for publication. The vice chancellors who do not have grants will not talk about grants, because he or she knows that he doesn't have things to show. Because this world nowadays, we are living in a world which is very transparent. Nobody is invisible. Everybody can be searched. We can Google anyone and we can actually see the background of the person. So in order to avoid this disaster when we become leader, we make sure that all these loopholes, if I may say, if I may term it, we already plug that and ensure that we all have all the ammunition. Secondly, as I mentioned, show good examples. If, for example, if we attend the faculty meeting, attend until it ends, for example. You don't just sign and go. A lot of people are doing that. Because once you become the dean, then you have difficulty to ask people to stay, because you have never shown such example. You don't attend meetings, for example. You don't do good things when people ask you to do. As simple as being a committee member. You are not performing when you are a committee member. And you become a leader. You can't say it because you do not have examples. Number 3, strategize your move. See, because each university is probably, they are different in terms of the requirement to move up the ladder to become professors, associate professors. So look at what are the requirements of your university and strategize it. Don't just simply carry on with life. Every day, day in and day out, you are doing the same thing. Strategize it because it counts. Every move counts. Number 4, form or join research group. Individually, a person can only reach a certain level, can do that much. But with a group, yeah, I think everybody knows this, but I'm just stressing it. Form a group if you can't find one. If you feel that the existing group is not of your liking, you don't really feel comfortable with the leader, for example, it's not your style, then form your own. Doesn't matter. Find someone who are like-minded people, work together, bring up the group to a certain level, and then expand it. Number 5, this is quite important. Beware of dead woods, toxic individuals, political individuals. Don't get near them. They will just irradiate negativity. You don't get positivity out of these people. I have to be sorry to mention this, but in almost all institutions, there might be some small number of people of this nature. They are very toxic. Talking to them will just make you feel nausea, for example, Or some people are very political, climbing the position or the career ladder through political means. We have to avoid this sort of behavior. Climbing the career ladder should be based on one's strength and power rather than rely on someone's, patronage or whatever political inclination that we have. There might be, you might see someone climbing the ladder by doing all this, but in the end, people will know. People will discover, and there will be no respect to such people. So first and foremost, I think we should be avoiding ourselves from entering any sort of group of that nature. That, very clique kind of thing. If I go up, you all will go up. That sort of behavior. If we can avoid this, we do things professionally, and we are not asking for position. We want to be professors, yes, but we do not want to ask for position, deanship, deputy vice chancellorship, or VCship, for example. Just be professional when you are good, and if you are really powerful, people will actually recognize and identify you eventually, and that's where you will shine in the eyes of people with your professionalism. So I hope that with all this small advice will benefit the listener as a whole. So Dato and Prof, thank you so much. I hope it is a useful discussion. Thank you.
Very, very, very useful. Thank you very much. I'm inspired. Okay, but before we open for further more questions and discussion, probably I would like to call upon Professor Faisal Rafiq from USM, the Vice Chancellor of USM, to continue for our last session. For our last panelist. Prof. Rafiq also have slides to share.
Tak dengar, Rusia tak dengar.
Okay, sorry, sedang.
Okay. Kan dengar ke?
Alright, okay, Prof, we are with you now.
Okay, thank you so much. Saya mulakan semula. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. First and foremost, again, let me introduce myself. My name is Rafiq Adikan. This is my 7th month as the Vice Chancellor of University Science Malaysia. USM is it's a very exciting institution. It has 10,000 staff and about 30,000 students. My colleagues, both Prof. Hamdi and Prof. Azizi, have mentioned quite a lot of things. I can't claim that I have lots of wisdom to share, so I'll borrow wisdom from others. Next slide, please. So I'll go straight to the first one. I have only 4 slides to share. The first one is on work ethics. This is a quote from Ernest Hemingway. It's one of my favorite quotes. I live by it. It says, "Never mistake motion for action." It's the emphasis on substance rather than form. It's about asking yourself, just because you are busy doesn't mean that you are actually having any impact whatsoever. So this is always something that I like to share with everyone. I think this is a very timeless policy, whether you are young or old, whether you are a VC or a member of a group or an academic or non-academic. I think never mistake motion for action is actually extremely important. That's the wisdom of others, the first one. The second is something from Pendeta Zakbar himself. Kata dia, kekayaan saudagar adalah pada pundi-pundi emasnya, kekayaan pendeta adalah pada keping-keping kertasnya, which can be translated as the wealth of a merchant is in their purses of gold, the wealth of a scholar is in the knowledge they unfold. I think there's a lot of things have been mentioned with regards to the true north of universities. I think we have to be clear. Our main function here today is to discover new knowledge and to actually embrace and to also distribute knowledge in whatever forms available, whether it's in terms of research, in terms of teaching, in terms of engagement with the public, with the industry. We must work day and night to make sure that we stay true to our true north. That's my second slide, and that's only halfway through my my opening speech, if you like. The third one is on leadership itself, where there's this is from the book written by Tenas Effendi. It says, pemimpin dekat dengan umatnya, orang yang dituakan oleh bangsanya, yang didahulukan selangkah, yang ditinggikan seranting, yang dilebihkan serambut, yang dimuliakan sepuku, which can be translated to be a leader is close to his or her people, a person wizened or made old by his folkship, his people, who is made ahead just by a step, who is made taller just by a branch, who is given more just by a hair, and who is made noble just by a nail. I think again, this pretty much sums up what both Prof. Hamdi and Prof. Azizi has mentioned. It's not a privilege; it is a huge responsibility. And there is a hadith that says, leaders, if you have led 10 or more people in this world, you will be resurrected. You'll be risen from the grave with your hands chained to your neck, unless you have been a just leader in this world. And the term "just" here is not being, distributing things with equal portion. Is putting the right things where they're supposed to be. So that's again me myself borrowing the wisdom of others. I think that this poem by Tenas Effendi summarizes that very well. And fourth slide, please. Sorry, there's a bit of a technical error here. Tadi slide tak share? Okay.
Okay, now the slide is on. You can see the
Tadi
slide.
tak ada slides eh? Just now.
Tadi is on and off.
Okay, can I
Okay.
just go back Can I just go back to the first one just in case for the benefit of others? Balik pada first slide, please. Okay, the fourth one, while we're sorting this out, the fourth one is again very common sense that I like to share with everyone. It is in terms of if you were to draw a graph or quadrant that has impact on one axis and effort on the other axis, which should be shown on the slides. They're trying to sort out the technical glitch here. Then I always tell my colleagues and people who work with me, and I'll try to work to base my work on that policy as well. We must aim for the highest impact possible with the lowest effort possible. So, you know, there's a quadrant there.
We can see it, Prof. It's on the presentation.
Okay, all right, you can see. We can't see it from here. Okay, now we can see. Okay, so yeah, there we are. So there's the impact and effort. You see quadrants A, B, C, and D. And so I always tell people, whether you know in USM or in UM, we have to focus all our effort, all our strategies, our initiatives to be in quadrant A, preferably, where with minimal effort you get the largest impact. And whatever initiatives that were proposed, if they belong to the quadrant D, which is a lot of effort but very little impact, then those things will not be pursued. Given the current situation with regards to our financial challenges, and of course the immediate impact of COVID-19, for example, this particular quadrant is even more important. And I think if you analyze things that we've done before, I think a lot of things, you know, took a lot of effort and yet very little impact. And, you know, requires a lot of resources, financially, human, and with very minimal impact. And I don't think moving forward, universities can afford to do so. We are living in very challenging times. And I think we have to be very picky with regards to the initiatives that we want to do and the kind of resources that we want to put behind these initiatives. That's it. I have those 4 slides. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. One of the things that I like to just share with everyone as well is that we in USM, we are very keen on numbers. I think statistics and numbers play a major part in our decision making to remain objective. One thing that we have to realize, and this is maybe it's pretty much the same with all universities. In the case of USM, for example, we have about 70% of our students being B40. So 70% of our students come from household income with 4,300 ringgit and below. So there lies the responsibility for us to deliver, to change the family fortune of these students. But also on the other side of the equation, what we discovered is that if we take the take-home salary of our staff, 50% of our staff are also B40. If we take the net income, not the gross income, 68% of our staff are also in the B40 category. And as leaders, I think, as mentioned by Prof Hamdi and Prof Azizi as well, you give credit when credit is due, and in the context of a university, you have to always be aware that university is made up from not just academics. We also have our admin staff and our support staff as well. And it's extremely important to balance in terms of our initiatives, in terms of the perks that we offer, to include everyone, to be inclusive, as what Prof Hamdi has mentioned just now. And this is something that usually driven by numbers as well. We have numbers for everything. We know what's our cash at any given time. We track number of courses, the number of students from which institution before, the number of students who are under observation or not. So I think this is also part of perhaps as a sharing of experience with young and budding leaders in this forum. Regards to, there must be some balance between, in order to be objective, you have to have the numbers and as well your strategic thinking. I think I'll stop there and to make way for question and answers. Again, the first slide was about the never mistake motion for action. The second slide was about the importance of knowledge and why we cannot run away from the pursuit of knowledge as our true north. And I think it ties with having the necessary credibility of an academic before you take up any leadership role. And the third is about the leader itself, how you carry yourself as a leader. And the fourth is how do you manage in terms of impact and effort. Thank you so much again for including me in this forum. I'll pass it back to the chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Wow. Everybody is praising all of you, all the three of you. Very good input.